Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with the 2022 Alumicraft number 6165 trick truck. Now this has 1019 horsepower, 901 pounds-feet of torque from its 7-litre twin-turbocharged V8 engine. The car itself now weighs 5,271 pounds, has off-road tyres and all-wheel drive to go along with its off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.774 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.410 seconds, and going to a top speed of 162 miles an hour. So it's not the fastest vehicle that we've had on this series in terms of top speed, but it's got decent acceleration. But obviously the big advantage with this car is the off-road capability. As you can see, it's a full 10. Not often we get a car like that on this series. So yeah, it's certainly we're not going to have any trouble with the bumps or the jumps or anything like that. Braking is pretty good, acceleration is solid, and yeah, the top speed, though not the highest, is still decent. It's the handling that is a real issue, because yeah, I'm not sure if the suspension is going to be too soft and wallowy like a lot of these kind of, you know, like off-road trucks can be. But yeah, figured it was high time we go back to something a bit more off-road orientated after a fair few, you know, sports cars or supercars that we've had on this series so far. So yeah, and this is part of the rally expansion that we had a while ago. So I'm surprised I ain't got around to doing these kind of vehicles before. But we have had another Alumicraft vehicle on this series before, the Class 1 Buggy, which is currently situated in 39th place. So not the fastest by any means, but certainly one of the better, you know, off-road focused vehicles that we've had. So hopefully this can do as well, if even better. So yeah, like I said, it's not going to struggle with the off-road elements really at all. Just about whether I can deal with the extra, you know, acceleration, speed, and power that we're given. Because the two turbochargers that I put on it alone bumped up to around 350 horsepower thereabouts. So yeah, it's had more upgrades than just those. So yeah, definitely way more powerful than what it was originally. But it's also still quite a heavy car. So even though it's got a lot more power, a fair old amount of that power is still going to be wasted on the amount of weight that it's got to lug around. So yeah, not expecting the fastest of vehicles with this, but should be issue free. Yeah, took that landing really well compared to the Mercedes in the previous episode, which I think bounced its rear end up. Yeah, that was perfect. So yeah, certainly not going to be one that's going to struggle with any of the off-road elements, which I guess is no surprise with the high ride height, the big chunky tyres, and the all-wheel drive system. So it was built for doing this kind of thing. Maybe not with the level of extreme power that we've given it, but still built for doing this kind of off-road stuff regardless. Certainly not the most nimble of things, but get it sliding around, you get around the corner easy enough. And the brakes are surprisingly good for a vehicle of this size and weight. See, with the more weight you have, the more momentum you've got to slow down, and that is going to be hard on the brakes, so you've got to have as good a brakes as possible. Yeah, not particularly quick down there. We usually get up to about 140, 150 miles an hour. We got to about 128 there. So it's trouble free, but it's not particularly quick either. Who knows, maybe that lack of issues outside of the general lack of speed will play into its favour. Bags of understeer sure as hell won't. And and there we go. So yeah, we're definitely slower than the Class 1 buggy that is also an Alumicraft at 3 minutes 29.401. We're yeah, just over 8 seconds slower than that car, and yeah, definitely one of the slower vehicles that we've had on this series that have been made to go off-road, but as per usual, something like this just isn't fast enough compared to the lighter, more supercar orientated kind of vehicles. So yeah, we're just ahead of the Liberty Ford Super Duty F250 Lariat Transformer, as well as other off-road vehicles like the Toyota Land Cruiser AT37, Ford F-150 XLT Lariat, Sierra Cars RX3, the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, and the Porsche Macan LPR Rally Raid. So yeah, we're certainly not the slowest car in terms of, you know, off-road vehicles, but just to put it into context, we're nearly 0.3 of a second slower than a Ford Bronco from 2021, and we're also slower than the new Land Rover Defender 110X, and the Polaris Razor Pro XP Ultimate, and the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer. So yeah, by no means quick, but it is dependable. It was troublesome free, and yeah, it's overall a reasonably fun car to drive off-road, but yeah, it's not quick at all. Now granted, you could swap an engine into this with even more power, but who knows, it might well play up as a result of having even more power than it has already. So yeah, it's all about compromise, and yeah, we at least have a vehicle that is troublesome free in terms of driving, so there is that. But yeah, not particularly quick, and yeah, but at least it's not the slowest vehicle that we've had, which is at least something. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.